I had a lot of time at my hand. There's only so many hours you can practice on the violin, and I tend to work maybe 2-3 hours just to keep in shape, because as an artist I was always hoping to get a phone call at night saying, well, you can perform again next week. So I wanted to keep myself in shape and ready, and I did that for about 3 years, hoping every night next day would be different. But that being said, for me, it was the first time in my life, or maybe the first time, let's be very correct, in 17 years that I had time to myself, that I wasn't traveling, I wasn't, concerned about contracts, reading contracts, scheduling travels, having jet lag. I was such a long time at home. I didn't know what to do with myself until I said, listen, you wanted to do this thing since many, many years, and now you finally have the distance to your life. Because I think it makes no sense to write a book just to tell your life story, to tell your story. It's not about telling your story, it's about telling something of value. Telling something, making a book where people read and learn something. I try to give this book every single angle there is to a life of a musician. The struggle which you have in order to learn the instrument. That's where it starts. The devotion and the discipline to do that every day. No matter if you have a headache, no matter if you don't feel well, no matter if you don't succeed even. There are weeks where you don't do progress and you still do it. It's like going to the gym hardcore every 2-3 hours a day. And you do that starting, thank you for the enthusiasm, just hold your horses. And that's what you have to do for ever. It does not stop, but it starts very, very early. And for me, I wanted to take the reader on an honest journey. Because also in the classical world, it's always these kind of big terms people throw around. If you see a kid playing 9-10 years old, it's always a child prodigy. And of course, from the publisher's side, or from the commercial side, it's nicer to see a 10-year-old kid and saying he's a genius. No. He's talented, but he's also working a hell of a lot backstage and at home. And I always felt that story always came too short when it came to classical musicians. All my biographies from all the great musicians I've read, they never really go into that. Maybe because they have a tough time, they remember it, but they have a tough time expressing it. How difficult and how emotionally draining, and how much you have lost. Something where you should have been free as a kid. All of these great musicians, from Chrysler to Menuhin to Schering to Heifetz, they all started so early, and they lost a lot of their life as being a kid and working as an adult. It's basically adult work, which you do with 8, 9, 10 years old. And I wanted to make a book where I'm not sad about that, but I'm realistic. So I think honesty was a big part of this journey, writing this book, and not sugarcoating also my childhood, not exaggerating in the sense of, this made me become such a depressed artist. That's also the wrong way. You said something very right in the beginning. You said, you feel there is nothing which can stop me. And it's a very true thing, and I learned that at a very early age. If something bad happens, it does not happen, because there's no such thing as a bad thing happening in life, unless it's health, of course, that's the difference. But in a professional life, there is no such thing as a bad experience. The worst experiences are the best experiences, because those, if you're smart, you will learn the most, and you will never do them or seldomly do them again. And